Hi guys, and welcome to the very first episode of what will hopefully be a long and prosperous Let's Play, one that we will finish until the very bitter end if it might be so, but we are playing Total War Warhammer, which will be released in the next couple of days. Thankfully I did get a press release copy from Creative Assembly, not Total Assembly. This is set in the Warhammer universe, as you might be able to tell, so I'm definitely not going to have a single clue of what's going on. This is all very new to me. I find the Warhammer series to be a little bit too nerdy for me, but there's nothing wrong with that. I've never really got into it though, so I'm very much looking forward to actually exploring all these new units and all of this kind of stuff that they've included in the game. So, there's 4 different factions which we can play around with. I did live stream this a little bit, been testing out YouTube live streaming here and there, not too much though. Now, we've got a couple of human races, dwarfs, greenskins, which are like your ogres, and I'm sure most of you guys would know this a little bit better than I do. I personally like the dwarfs. So for many generations the dwarfs prospered, but then their realm was riven by a chain of devastating earthquakes, followed by sustained attacks by greenskins and other vile foes. Thus the golden age of Kara's Angkor ended. We'll spare ourselves reading this. Too long didn't read. What I do really like about these guys is they've got gyrocopters. They seem to be very steampunkish, at least with the gyro bombers. I'm pretty sure they've got gyrocopters as well. Maybe that's a different faction, but some of these different units are really, really cool. Something very different for the Total War series. So I'm very much looking forward to being able to use the gyro bomber, pretty much a helicopter that flies around and devastates things through its, pretty much like a oh geez, I forget the name of the plane, but the A-10 the A-10, the plane where the plane is built around the machine gun. So this seems to be very similar. It's got a machine gun, but it can also drop bombs as well. So durable units with strong leadership, excellent range of strong artillery, strong economy and trade options, large tech tree with both military and civic branches, which is interesting because that makes me think that maybe some of these guys don't have that many tech trees. So like limited tech tree, I guess the ogres and all them don't really fancy intelligence and technology. We've got magic resistance, which to be honest I don't really like magic in too many games, so that's kind of a good thing for me. Expensive unit recruitment and upkeep, no cavalry though, and small military unit sizes. So let's go give this a shot. Anything that I really need to keep in mind? Not really. But can only capture territory belonging to greenskins or other dwarf factions. So that's something to keep in mind. It seems like it'll confuse the living daylights out of me as we get on, but hopefully I'll get the drift of the game by then. And use underway. Armies can choose to use the network of underground tunnels to avoid impassable terrain and enemy armies. So that's actually very, very cool. We've got victory objectives. I think we'll go for the short campaign victory. We'll have a look at how we go. And the initial challenge is easy. Let's go ahead and continue on. We can set some other things such as our faction leader over here. So we've got Thorgrim Grudgebearer, who's the faction leader, powerful melee fighter and leader. Construction cost is minus 10% for military recruitment buildings, so that's pretty good, and minus 10% for longbeards and hammerers units. So hammerers, and do we have longbeards yet? No, not really. And we have additional starting units as well, and this guy has thunderers, slayers and axe infantry. So slayers are 25% off cheaper or less, and then upkeep's also a lot less. I actually like Thorgrim a little bit more. Definitely a lot to read in this lore. What I'll be playing on is hard difficulty, so hopefully there will be a bit of a challenge. Hopefully not too much of a challenge, because I don't want to be failing in the first couple of episodes, but you never know when I'm recording and playing. I guess half the fun is watching me fail, right? These intro cutscenes are amazing though, so I'll of course be quiet.
The old world is a crucible of relentless war. It has ever been so. An era as long as the mountains are unyielding. But as the storms gather again, it presents a chance for the brave to bring about an age of reckoning. I come to the Dwarf High King as a herald of such times, and so I find myself at the King's right hand. My presence is timely, for dire news comes from the south. Greenskins flock to the banner of a cruel war boss. Now, my liege, Thorgrim Grudgebearer, leads a mighty throng from Karazakarak, smashing aside any foes that block our path. If Grudgebearer desires to return the Karaz Angkor to its former glory, then he must rid his lands of vile greenskins. Those gathering within the shadows of Everpeak are a good start.
So down with the greenskins. Jeez, they're chucking us right in the battle right at the start.
Our mountains with their vile tales. The Damaskron, our great book of grudges, is filled with such greenskin atrocities. Bring hammer and axe. Show these Urks and Groby no mercy.
I could just imagine how happy people must be that have played this followed the Warhammer series since its inception. Must be an amazing feeling, but unfortunately, I can't share that with you guys. So this is just the basic tutorial mission, I guess, that they start off with, because I don't think there is actually a tutorial campaign this time round.
Be sure to join the fight yourself. The warriors will be greatly inspired by your presence.
Alright, so all we've got are two different units. We've got, of course, Thorgrim Grudgebearer, who is our general, or our lord as they call him in this game, on his gold throne with his book of grudges, I'd assume that is. Very, very cool indeed. Seems like he's going to have bad posture problems or bad back problems in the next couple of years, though, with the way he's sitting. And then we've got all these little long beards. Little guys with long beards. Very, very different style to what I guess we're kind of used to in Total War. Alright, so let's skip all of this stuff, and this is just a very, very simple mission. We've got our allies who are going to be doing all the work over here. They've got a couple of different units. So one of the interesting things is that it doesn't seem like the generals or lords have any bodyguards around with them this time around. So that's something a little bit different.
Attack! Show the ancestors that the spirit of the Dawi remains strong, that the age of reckoning has begun.
But for the most part, I gotta say, the game is pretty much exactly the same, just in the general gameplay. There's magic as well, though, but it's very, very similar to Total War. I mean, if you've played Total War, you'll know how to play Total War Warhammer. So, thankfully, there's not too much of a steep learning curve if you've already played the Warhammer or Total War series, that is. Right, these guys should actually start running. These little guys with their short, stumpy legs should actually make a move on. Can't remember what you press for the cinematic camera. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. And then we've got our general who's got special abilities. This time they're all over here, all the way on the left.
And the rear of the enemy where possible.
So what I'll do
Will surely fail if surrounded.
is I will use, here we go, we get an 18% charge bonus. So let's use that ability and charge at their sides. There we go, we should be able to get them. Let's see what he does. Wonder how the hell does he attack? Oh wow, okay. He uses his mighty hammer. And it seems like it's got quite the pushback to it. So what other abilities do we have? Affects allies in the range, so that'll help our other longbeards here. Which is also really nice because it shows us if our units have the bonus abilities and all as well. Let's have a look at the artillery. Ooh, these guys are enemies as well, the trolls. So there's a couple of like...
Take charge of the forces you control, sire. Effective command of your army is a skill worth mastering.
Right, so I can control some of my allies, not all of them just yet. I'll send some of these guys out and around though. We should be getting them to rout any second now, so that's all good. If only I was able to control the artillery. That's half the fun of the game for me, the artillery. Very, very unique designs as well. Some of them look absolutely crazy.
Back from the enemy, my lord. They will be most effective if allowed to shoot from a distance.
Oh, I do have missile infantry. I'm surprised. Okay. The Quarrelers. Don't think they're going to do too much damage to the trolls though. So yeah, the enemy has... Actually, the trolls aren't really all these... well, I guess they're called monstrous infantry. But there's like massive walking dinosaurs and very interesting units that absolutely wreck, but you can only have one of them per battle, I guess. So I guess we'll explore that game mechanic a little bit later on. What is this guy doing? Let's get our long beard. Or Thorgrim. Let's go use charge bonus. And let's use stand your ground so our guys can actually get that melee defense and melee attack up. And there we go, now they've already started to rout the enemy. So these guys should start moving up as well, these missile infantry.
The enemy general joins the battle at last. Nashrak fights amidst his mounted warriors. Cut him down.
Let's have a look at this general. So he's on like a pig or a bison or something. Very interesting looking animal. Oh, here we go. We've got all these little spiders, if you guys can see, spider raiders. Too much stuff happening around here. Spells and all of that kind of gibberish.
Greenskins run for their mountain, my king Grudgebearer.
Bodies all around. And that did not last long at all. We've already won. Alright. I'm actually surprised how quickly that ended. So, you are victorious. The corpses of the enemy litter the ground, and those still able to flee do so with the laughter of our gods ringing in their ears. It's pretty savage if you ask me, but we've got to take what we can give to them. Very much looking forward to actually exploring. Maybe I'll get into the Warhammer series. Who knows? I'm sure there's a couple of novels as well with the whole series. I'm certain of it.
The mountains rumble to the sound of your armies marching, yet the threat to your kind has scarcely diminished.
Okay. So yeah, as I said previously, it doesn't seem like there's any tutorial missions or campaign. It's just you get the tutorial as soon as you start a mission. You can turn it off, of course. We've explored quite a fair bit as well, which is interesting. Or at least we can see a fair bit. Map is very large as well. Seems like we've got some very nice snow-capped red atmosphere at the top though. Very interesting. Some snow-capped mountains the further up we go, and the further down south we go, it seems like it's very barren. Very, very interesting. I'm sure there's seasons as well, I'm certain of it. Okay.
The lands around here remain infested with filthy greenskin scum. The greenskins of the Bloody Spears continue to defile your most sacred monuments. They must be expelled from these mountains with all haste. No dwarf king should tolerate such a presence so close to Everpeak.
That's right. So we've got to capture this whole region. Actually, they want us to examine all this stuff as well. Do you want us to examine Karazakarak? Nope. I guess you want us to examine Mount Squighorn? No? What do you want me to have a look at? Examine the importance... Oh, okay. Varenka Hills, I guess.
The dwarfs of Barakvar look kindly upon your cause, sire. With sufficient persuasion, they would likely join your struggle against the Greenskins.
Well, they are dwarfs after all. So I guess we need to ally with these guys, but in our region, we need to capture the Pillars of Grungi and Mount Squighorn first of all. So that's going to be our first plan. Let's go check out what this
the scabby-eyed tribe
is all about.
Greenskins maintain their hostilities against you from their feeble camps upon the plains. Be sure to watch their movements carefully.
Okay, so we need to keep an eye out on those guys.
Vengeance must be the answer. The Bloody Spears cannot be allowed to regroup after their defeat. Press forward and maintain the offensive.
To war! Move in!
Good. The enemy will no doubt have picked up your movements. They will be frantically barricading their hovels in preparation for your arrival.
Well, barricade they can. They won't get anywhere though.
Stand ready to take up arms against the invaders, my lord. Recruit them, and they will be ready to fight in the battles that are to come.
Alright. So let's go ahead and recruit. Of course, we are in our own region, so they will come into our army. We can get miners. Personally, I don't really like the miners. I find they're really weak. The pickaxe is not the mightiest dwarven weapon, but it serves with relative success in melee. Personally, I think it's really, really crappy. The only good thing about the miners...
I agree.
No, I don't want that, actually. Cancel that. One good thing about the miners... How do you keep...
Aye, it will better our cause.
Anyways, there's a way that I want to keep this here on the left, the little scroll with the information, but when I move my mouse, I can't. I don't know how to keep it. Like, anyways, the one good thing about the miners is they've got, I think it's called Vanguard Deployment, so they can deploy pretty much anywhere on the map, like your spies in Shogun or like your specialist units. So I think that's the case here, which is nice. We've also got Dwarf Warriors, which we will go ahead and get. We don't want too many of them, though.
The recruits will make first-rate warriors, I'm sure. For now, the throng must remain in place to train them. Let's also look at improving your infrastructure at home. A solid base of operations will repay itself on the battlefields ahead.
Alright, so now this is where it will get very confusing because we've got all of these new types of buildings that I've never really heard of. So, like a sparring chamber, I'm not quite sure what that ends up unlocking, but of course we can read all that. So, okay, we need to do this first.
Training facilities
upgrade all of this.
To better train the Dawi to fight, sire.
There we go. Now I can select this. So, Clan Barracks is next, and that unlocks Quarrelers, which I'm pretty sure are, missile infantry, and Quarrelers with great weapons, which I'm not quite sure what that is, but I'd assume they cost a little bit more. Yeah, they do. A little bit more. Their weapon strength is increased, I think. So let's go with the Clan Barracks.
Stout hands will be...
Because that's what they want us to do. They're definitely babying us.
Further your methods of war if you are to drive the orc filth from the mountains. Put the finest minds from the guilds to work on improving your practices and knowledge.
Alright. So, I think the first thing that will help us out the most is public order. Because I do want to be doing a lot of raiding at the start. Just to settle up a nice base. And so we can So at least so we won't start losing right away. So if I start raiding a lot, there'll be a lot of public disorder. We want public order. And then we'll start worrying about maybe some military tech. But it is very nice that we can research a heck of a lot of things. Definitely very good.
In time, the lore they will gain will surely aid your cause. I know your patience wears thin, my king, but you must temper the need for vengeance with further intelligence of the Groby's actions. There is nothing more to do for now.
I know, right? My patience is definitely wearing thin. 20 minutes in and we haven't even done one turn. So let's get right into it. Oh, we've got gemstones over here. It's definitely going to be a lot to learn though. Hopefully you guys will join in for the ride. I'm looking forward. I needed a good let's play just to come back home from work and or after like a hard day training, just to be able to sit down and record a little bit and just get back into the grind on YouTube. Because I mean, there's been games coming out, but I haven't really been sucked into them. This is a game that you can definitely get sucked into, so looking forward just to chilling out playing this game, really. And of course, live streaming here and there on YouTube. That's always great fun.
More greenskins muster in the mountain pass to the east. Attack now while they remain vulnerable.
Alright, so beheld by the enraged gaze of Grimnir, the bloody spears have trespassed with impunity all over the sacred mountains. Their forces gather to the east and must be defeated in battle before their strength is regained. And we get a nice little reward. So this will end up coming in the Book of Grudges as well. So all of our missions come up in the Book of Grudges. We can pin to... Oh, okay. We can pin different things, which is nice as well. So because their banner is tarnished and it's broken up, means they're definitely not at full health. At least from my understanding is that's the reason it's broken up. Maybe that's the way it is at default, but I don't think so. Alright, so before we blabber on too much, I can build something else over here. We've got a construction slot. So before this turns into rubble or whatever it does, let's go ahead and have a look at what we can get to work on. I think a refractory is my best bet. Actually, a gem mine shaft wouldn't be too bad either. It'll give us some sacks of gems to be able to sell. So we'll be able to sell them, which is nice. You know what? We'll go with the gem mine shaft, I think. Yeah. And it'll enable me to create some wealth for ourselves as well. So let's go battle. And of course, I am not going to be auto-resolving it. We want to have fun here. What does scouting the terrain do? It just loads up the map. So it gives you like an advantage, I guess. I mean, there's no reason not to do that. It's not like you lose anything by scouting the battlefield. So you might as well always do that, right? So I'm assuming they've got goblin archers. Indeed they do. So they're weak against armor, expendable, and poor leadership. Loading times are definitely very quicker in this Total War as well, which is great. Alright, so as I was saying, our miners have what is called... Now we can click here. Actually, it doesn't say that they can go ahead and deploy anywhere. Maybe here. Magic resistance, here we go. Vanguard Deployment. And they can hide in forests. Which is always very nice because you can ambush them. Like you can hide them if there was a forest over here. You can just stay over here and pop up when they come a little bit too close to your own army. Your main army, that is.
Satisfy the grudge.
So let us satisfy the grudge. So, to be honest, because the miners are so bad, I'm just going to keep them away for now. We've got hammer infantry, who I'm pretty sure are like incredibly strong. A grudge shell is still an effective long-range weapon against enemy infantry. Oh, alright, so they're catapults. Okay, I didn't know they are long-range infantry. Let's have a look at their range then. Interesting. I never knew that. And then we've got, of course, our quarrelers. So I'll actually hotkey them, our quarrelers. Leave my pickaxe infantry, and then we'll go with the axe infantry. Hotkey them. And we'll spread them out a bit like so. And let's just get right into it. What I want to do though is aim over here. And we can have a look at our catapults. Boom! Let's follow these rocks. Let's see what they end up doing. Well, they do some damage. Some of the other weaponry, or the ranged catapults and all that you can get, are pretty crazy in the game. Very, very cool. I mean, catapults are pretty much stock standard in Total War these days, but... There we go. Down they come. Down the hill. Oh, here we go. Our arrows are coming in.
The high ground is yours, Commander. Be sure to use it to best advantage.
Alright, so what I'm going to do is start running now. So these guys are still down below. Look at this hammer infantry out over here, and it seems like we'll be doing okay. Where is... Okay. So our quarrelers. Go ahead and get the archers, actually. Where's Thorgrim? And now he doesn't have any special abilities as well, so he's lost all his special abilities, unfortunately. Let's get our catapults to target on the orc arrow boys, as they're called. Look at those ugly Shreks. Seems like we're winning this pretty easily though. So let's get in their melee and we'll attack them from the side. Hopefully that does us some good. And we don't lose too many of these miners. Now, how are this hammer infantry doing? They seem to be losing, which is no good. At least all these archers are gone. Oh, here we go. Look at their general. Or their lord. Taking all of our guys on. Definitely got quite a bit of health on him. I'll go send in my general in there as well, just to help us out. Now, this is what I really need to worry about. We don't want to be losing over here. The damage seems to be pretty even. There we go. It seems like they're losing decisively now. These guys are running away. I'll let the catapults actually go to target them. Let's have a look at these guys shoot their arrows. Just over the heads of our guys. There is friendly fire on, of course, in these games. So you do need to watch out for that. Look at how big those orcs are. Crazy. Thankfully they're losing decisively though. They'll start running away any second now. Oh, here we go. Alright, let's go chase them down. As much as we can, possibly. I'll speed things up a little bit. Hopefully we don't lose any of our own troops. Wouldn't be surprised if we do though. Let's see if we can catch up to these orcs. I don't think we will. Nope. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, that is it. Okay. No, I don't see us catching up to them. Unfortunately, where's the end of the map? Actually, there's still a fair bit. But we won't catch up to them. Alright, so let's go end the battle. That was a decisive victory. I think that was pretty much guaranteed from the start. Did very well there, if I do say so myself. I lost quite a few guys. Alright, so now we can either release captives. So casualty replenishment rate is at -5%. Or we can execute them. A grudge has been settled. The honourable thing is to allow the captives to leave. Not that it matters, but the enemy will look upon us favourably. Well, I'll actually take the money.
Got Ben?
So now we'll have a lot of money. So enchanted item gained, the potion of toughness. Those that consume a potion of toughness find their skin hardening as swords and arrows glance off their body, even on parts not covered by armour. Wouldn't we like to have that ability? So, this is where it gets really intense. So now we can dress up our main character, our main lord. So it gets very crazy with runes and banners and jeez. So what does this potion of toughness do? So it seems like it's a special ability. It replenishes health points of combatants, 36 plus melee defense and 15 plus armor. But only works on himself. Interesting. Alright.
The
We'll take
Grogi
that.
maintain one of their slum camps beneath the Pillars of Grungni. A sin that cannot remain in the Damaskron any longer. The pillars must be returned to dwarfen hands.
And indeed they will. So the Pillars of Grungni are going to be gone in the next episode. Yes, unfortunately the time has come to end the very first episode of our Total War Warhammer Let's Play. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed as much as I have. Be sure to leave a like to start off the series with a good start, but having a lot of fun, and I'm very much looking forward to actually exploring what's going to happen in the next couple of episodes.